Hello everyone, Fangs of Fire here, and welcome to Game 2 of Pizzawizard vs. CombatWombat. Pizzawizard is this time, of course, on the Hunters, as he played Dracula last time. I will... shall I tell you who won the last round? I suppose it's already public in the spreadsheet. So I suppose I'll just say it that Pizzawizard won the last one. Pizzawizard, of course, going with the Pizzawizard setup. Naturally. Pizzawizard won the last one, albeit by a hair. Only 2 UHP left. At the end of things. But in the end, yeah, so CombatWombat is fighting for his life here. What are you doing? Hey, just throwing giants back and forth between the two of them, apparently. Yeah, I mean, for those who watch this on YouTube and are not part of our community, we had an excellent pair of GIFs thrown back and forth between the two. Hey there, Terminator. They were thrown back and forth between the two of them. CombatWombat put up a picture of Gandalf smiting the bridge, but the Balrog bellowing, "I may yet pass." And then Pizzawizard responded with Gandalf saying, "Back to the shadow." It was very hilarious. It was very amusing. So, yeah, if you are a part of the community and haven't taken a peek at that, I encourage you to. It is quite funny. Oh, Harker? Okay. Sure. You got a crucifix. What are you doing? Hey, I have no idea what they're talking about, but... yeah. So CombatWombat has to win this. But defeating Pizzawizard's Hunter's ability is no easy thing to do. He'll... If I had to make a prediction, I think Pizzawizard will take it. Not only because Hunters seem to have been favored this tournament, but also because it's Pizzawizard we're talking about, and he's on his stronger faction now. He won with what he anticipated would be the weaker faction, and he actually expected to lose that game, but nonetheless he won. So therefore, now CombatWombat is forced to do much the same thing. Given that there was, I suppose that there was talk about a counterspell. I know that Pizzawizard does some Magic the Gathering, possibly Magic the Gathering Arena. Possibly CombatWombat is the same. I don't know. Possibly Rebellion as well. I agree to Terminator. But yeah, here we go down the normal week 1 supply train. Obviously, if Pizzawizard wins this, then that'll just be the end of this. That'll be the end of CombatWombat in this tournament. Unfortunately for him, unless they choose to do a playoff between the losers, as well. But I doubt that will be happening, except possibly for a 3rd place playoff. People who lose out in the first round and the quarterfinals are definitely less likely to do that sort of thing. Yep. Typical stuff. Keep it coming. Okay, we gonna get us a misdirect or not? We are. Okay. Fairly meta to do that. Yeah, I suppose Even if it were for a lair stratagem, the fact that Harker is out means that even if you plan to do a lair stratagem, you want to keep him not knowing where those lairs are until later. I think that, yeah, since Harker is there, it is just correct to misdirect the first thing. Garlic wreath, yeah, sure. Dum ba dum bum bum. Yeah, I'm Pizzawizard. I'm for any somehow not familiar with these two at this point by now. Pizzawizard back in 2023, which was the last one when that Scotswood didn't compete in. Before this one, he won the tournament with Wakajic as runner-up, and this time. And then last year, in 2024, when Scotswood won, naturally, Pizzawizard was runner-up. So, Pizzawizard is a very top-notch player. Along with Scotswood and Lukajic, they are, I think, the three best of the community. CombatWombat, he is newer to the community. He has only competed in the Duos and Dark Holes tournament before this, but he's a strong player. There's no denying that. Interesting. Well now, is this a hoax then hide with a bats or something? And then play vampire after that? And a hoax could definitely help. So, I'm not going to debate as to whether or not, like, what I might debate about is whether he should have saved the rumor token to put down a turn or two later. Oh, scouts. Alright. Let's see. Let's get some intel. Valona. Okay, so it's not a hide. Is this Athens start with a hoax, perhaps? It is curious that he put the rumor token there on his latest location rather than the first one. Very interesting. Camilla has an excellent weather. Good to know about. It's entirely possible I missed something or another. That she might have been showing before, if Van Helsing traded with her. I don't think so, though. I mean, we'll see. I mean, many is the time where, like Pizzawizard, as anyone who is familiar with him will know, is, whoa. Okay, so he's at Sarajevo. We know where the rumor token is. Okay. But what if that's a fake rumor, I wonder, to throw him off? CombatWombat is definitely the type to do that sort of thing. He has in the past. This is very interesting. Very intriguing. I mean, while this appears to be a good start for a Pizzawizard, it's way too early to call anything. I mean, Pizzawizard, for all we know, has quite a few dud items. Like, he could have a lot of garlics, dogs. There's still quite a few of those left. He could have holy bullets without guns. There's still 18 cards left. He's been through less than half the item deck so far. Let me see the exact count. Yeah, they have full events on everyone, so therefore 13 in hand. Yeah, there's actually precisely There's precisely 38 items in the entire game, counting what is in people's hands. So he's been through. So I suppose actually he had been through slightly over half the deck by then, item deck by then, but half is usually not enough. There's almost always, and I speak from experience, there's almost always something buried deep there that you want. So, and if there's one thing Pizzawizard is known for, it's for thoroughly supplying to make sure he's thoroughly ready before launching into action too swiftly. So, CombatWombat, gracious. It's true that Pizzawizard knows where there's not only where about Valona, but he knows where in Austro-Hungary Dracula was as of here. He knows precisely where the rumor token is. He knows that he is right now either in Belgrade, Zagreb, or Sofia. So the hunters definitely have an advantage in terms of having good knowledge. Oh, this is risky. What if this is a high card? Okay, it's not, fortunately for Mina, but that definitely could have been risky. Okay, Reckless Vampire? Makes sense. Makes sense to ambush. We had a stake discard from Seward, so that leads me to believe that Seward at least has pretty good items. Either that or possibly just had a lot of stakes. Don't know. Okay, Mesmerize into Punch. Oh. That is not good. For the Reckless. Okay. Yeah, if anyone is wondering who I'm rooting for, I honestly don't especially care. I would. Okay, Mez again into the knife. Good call on that. But what I want most is for it to be a close game, regardless who wins. I suppose when I consider things. I think that ultimately I want Pizzawizard to win, and then Mr. Green to win against his opponent, because that will be Mr. Green and Pizzawizard have a very long rivalry between them. So that is one matchup that I'm sure lots of people would be very interested to see. And if they both progress in this first round, they will be facing each other next. It will be quite an old rivalry and quite a spicy quarterfinals matchup if that happens. So I suppose on the whole, like in terms of the whole series, I am rooting for Pizzawizard. But I would love to at the very least have this game be very close, or possibly get it to the point where there is actually is a game 3. Basically, I just want it to be close, to be honest, more than anything else. Okay, Van Helsing trading with Gul'daming for hand size reasons, I am assuming. Yeah. Oh, resting. So she actually did not have the stake. Interesting. Okay, but what is I suppose either that or she is possibly trying to save the stake for staking a hoax, and then Gul'daming will come to Sarajevo and follow up with his stake if he has one. I don't know. There could be all sorts of different things happening. Newspapers. Okay, Salonika, not Athens. That was important, because it's important to know. I mean, they have a spare day, so it's not, shall we say, as important as it would have been if Mia hadn't moved yet. But because then they would have had no room for error as to which one they guessed first. But then they had Harker. So honestly, that wasn't all that necessary. Okay, wow. Quite a few rifles being tossed all of a sudden. It's now half of the rifles being tossed into the discard pile. Although I imagine that there will be plenty of pistols following eventually. So, let's see. Oh, Slow Horse. That's where... So, do you move to Valona and risk a bats or something of that nature? Or do you go to Sophia and risk landing on a Dracula that is hiding there now? And he could also have gone to Belgrade, for the record. Okay. Yeah, I assume Mina will not search. She'll just finish healing the last piece of damage from the Reckless, and then she'll move on to Salonika, so as to not risk any bats or anything like I just mentioned. But yeah, we'll see how this first volley, as I tend to think of it, of encounters pans out, or first wave, however you want to put it. We'll see how it pans out in terms of like hunters getting damaged, items being discarded. I don't know. We'll see just how this pans out. Meanwhile, we don't know from Sarajevo. I mean, she horsed over Zagreb, so Dracula could be in Munich right now. So there's all sorts of different things that could be happening in the meanwhile. The fact that Suid hasn't moved is a little bit concerning to me. I would have, at the very least, moved him by train to Marseille, to like threaten being able to horse onto Munich. I mean, that is, of course, if I can. It's possible that Suid has double white 1. I mean, Peacewood obviously hasn't been afraid to use his horses. He doesn't have perfect economy yet, but okay, Glamming horsing. So he will likely go to Sarajevo to deal with the vampire. And then Mina, after dealing with Salonika, will come back to Valona. Alright. So, other than Guldamming, I am assuming that you have a stake if you have come here. Fangs into escape. Okay, another point. So even though this Reckless is most likely about to get staked, he has gotten CombatWombat has gotten 2 points out of it, which is for a first vampire. For your first vampire, that's pretty good. When you think about it, So, okay, that'll be Seward moving to Marseille, I imagine. Yep. I imagine that we will see a wolf form before too long. What really matters is what I am really curious about is where did he go out of Sarajevo? Did he continue going west, or did he backtrack east? Okay. Oh, another vampire. That's interesting. Does Guldamming then wait to stake it for one turn? Because if this is going to wipe it anyway... Huh. That's actually a very interesting situation. It'll be interesting to see how people reacts to this. It is possible that Mina does not have the stake, and simply preserved her stake since she knew Guldamming would be able to take it instead. So it's possible that they both get staked as a result. Plotting into dodge. Oh, okay. So Mina's going to take more damage. This being a new vampire, Dracula will... CombatWombat will likely just do strength. Make sure that Mina can't, like, send a knife in. she's already mesmerized, so... Although, yeah, like if... On the other hand, if Dracula has dull fangs, you can do fang into fang. Okay, yep. As was more or less expected. Okay, what now? Yeah, Mina's trying to escape with minimum damage. So far we haven't had any fangs or claws. Plotting again. Okay. Well then. This is interesting. Let's see. Okay. Strength. Yep, that again. So now... now Mia just dodges, though, now that the plotting is used up. So, yeah, she's not going to take any more damage. And CombatWombat will almost certainly know this. He will likely just play Escape as Mist if he has it. Just to make or Claws, like, for in the rare event that he does play a knife. Yeah. Okay, so 4 damage dealt. That's it. That's not at all. That's quite significant. All right. So the fact that Goldaming isn't hesitating to stake this seems to say that Mia also has a stake. No stake. Okay, in that case, just mature this thing. He staked the rumor token, which was going to get wiped anyway. So you got plenty of value out of that. Just mature it. What? Okay. I suppose I can respect that due to the fact that Bologna and whatever he did after Sarajevo would also get wiped. So that'd be that was only 1 out of 3 encounters that I got value out of, and the new vampire already did more or less did its job. Now they will be occupied here for at least 1 extra day before they can chase after him. Tis interesting. Okay, interesting that I chose Gloaming. I suppose Mina did take a bit of a battering from that vampire. Kind of. It's not the worst. It wasn't the worst, but neither was it good. Just clearing holy bullets. How many bullets do we have in this card? Pizzawizard loves bullets. There's 1 left. That is unaccounted for. Another new vampire. And he is down an item. I suppose that explains why he did the lair. This way, we get them to occupy time here. And get in some damage on now Goldaming as well. He's using these new vampires as damaging encounters. And now he can wipe his trail, making him have to play a bit of a guessing game as to where he's gone on since then. Mesmerize into escape. Okay. Okay. I personally would plot next as the vampire, because if he punches you, so what? You take only 1 damage. Claws? Okay. Also perfectly valid. But apparently plotting would have been the better move in that case. But hey, I can't when it comes to combat it is hard to judge. It is very hard to judge exactly when to do what. So it's easy for me to sit here in hindsight and say that plotting would have been better, but how is CombatWombat to know? I didn't know for sure, but the risk, like the consequence if you don't plot, is very small. So was my reasoning in saying that, because worst case scenario he has a pistol, which since he's mesmerized hits you for 1. Okay, plotting this time. Yep, there it is. And now I suppose you just do double fang if you have it. Fang into what I would assume it will be a knife. And then fang into a dodge that you can cancel. I can see that my audience is growing on Twitch. Feel free to say hi, folks. I mean, this is Pizzawizard versus CombatWombat Game 2. For any of you who may have missed the fact. Okay, claws. Interesting. I would have gone with fangs. Go with getting the bite and get a point. But getting undamaged so that it makes it riskier to chase after you is also entirely valid. Obviously, Gul'dan will now dodge, and you can't harm him any further. Strength into dodge. Yep. So now both Mina and Gul'dan are. Well, I mean, Mina will be healing up to 7, but both of them are a little bit battered in certain ways. I wonder if Dracula is good. I wonder if CombatWombat is going for a lair shot with him, and then we'll move on to Salonika and day fight Mina, because he'll be sitting on a new vampire along with 1 other thing. Okay, since he's layering this one too, I would think so. I would think that he's going layers. Horse to... Oh, slow horse. Suppose it'll only be to Sarajevo then. Okay. Or not. Yeah, go to Athens, get a new item. Fair enough. I wonder where the last horse is. Is Van Helsing holding it, perhaps? Now he's rattling down to the Marseille to trade it to Seward, so that he can perhaps come east and help out. Because, yeah, we don't have any idea where he went after Sarajevo, although his behavior suggests that he's like doing some sort of loop around type of thing. That's going to be Belgrade, Bucharest, Black Sea coast, and then Sofia, or something along those lines. I mean, Harker will... he still has Harker, which will be very useful. In this case. This is one of those situations where Jonathan Harker can really pull his weight. Just... at least for a couple days. For a couple days, he just shows you where to go, and you follow his directions. to try to quell these things before they mature. That being said, against the lair stratagem, it is at least advisable to simply cut off his next location, which he could simply skip over Salonika. So it was Belgrade, so he is circling back. This will be interesting. Yeah, okay. Not placing a road token. Yeah, this is... I mean, CombatWombat at least appears to be off to a good start. But... oh, I'm a little bit surprised that he's not adjacent to Mina. In that case, perhaps he looped back him initially so as to go up like so. Well, Seward's gonna come. Yeah, by the looks of it, it was Van Helsing who was holding the horse, and now he just traded it to Seward. He was not through Munich. Pistol, okay. But if he was not going to go through Munich or anything, why did he not mature? Why didn't he mature at least one of those two? That would have put him up to 5 influence already. Another reckless vampire. Just Vampire City, one vampire after another. All four. It would appear as if CombatWombat got a starting hand of a lot of vampires, because this is now every single encounter so far has been a vampire. So now he'll be hoping to snag an ambush point off of this one. Oh. A double bluff. Usually you try to escape right away, but normally a reckless, for that reason, does Fangs to snag the point right away. But so Mina played Knight to block the Fangs, but CombatWombat anticipated that. Either that or simply had a bad combat hand. Okay, mezzed. Good. That is good for CombatWombat. Oh boy. Now the vampire just does fang into fang. And yes, it may take damage from Mina's knife, but now things may really start kicking off for but now he is almost guaranteed to get a point. Claws? Alright. Interesting. It would appear, even though he played plotting and therefore got to choose a card, didn't play fangs. I suppose he was expecting the knife. So now Mina can now do a knife into dodge. So the vampire after all won't get a point. But that being said, he can play strength or the second strength or the second claws into the knife, and Mina will take 2 more damage and therefore be on death's door. and therefore will be in no condition to go running around clearing stuff. That's the price he'll have to pay to... Okay, fangs. Yeah. And now, he just does strength or claws, I suppose. Because Mia will almost certainly play knife. Yeah, I would go with claws. If you have a choice between one or the other, I would go with claws. So this thing is about to mature anyway, so... Oh, okay. Yeah, and it hits even if it wasn't the knife, it would still hit. Okay, but in the end, strength was the correct play. Because he could have played escape to play an anti-strength card instead. Okay. So, now he could... now CombatWombat could mature this one instead. Yet again, instead of the others. I see now why he has been layering them, because he has so many of them. This is the way that vampires have anti-synergy. So now he could get himself up to 6, and then anything which would force Pizzawizard until he plays Vampire Lair to check anything that CombatWombat rumors, so he can set up all sorts of fake rumor token traps. That would but will he? He layered both the Salonica new vampire and the Evalona new vampire, but was it because he was waiting for this one instead? We shall see. Okay. Hide at Sophia. Yeah, he went to Sophia a bit too soon, and therefore had to move away, and therefore wasn't able to go back to Salonica. He'll have to do a wolf form to do that. That tells us a good deal. Okay. Okay. Suppose he'll go to Sophia. I would assume. Let's see what Wombat has here. Is it gonna be the last fighting vamp? Are you gonna see all 5 of them? Desecrated soil. Okay. I mean, it's under the hide card, but depending on what this other thing is, you may want to reveal the Heavenly Host anyway, if you have it, because chances are you will have to search this, and therefore you would trigger it again. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I have no idea. We have no idea what this is. It could be the third reckless vampire and the 5th and final fighter vamp, for all we know. Does Sewer check Sajed, maybe? Does he perhaps check Budapest? In case you've now gone up and are heading west along this way? Because Mina is in no shape to fight. She has apparently a heroic leap. I'm not sure when that came up. Okay, so he's currently at Sajed. Spy. Alright. That's a pretty good encounter. And what is he going to discard? Because I'm not sure he will want to reveal 4 different events. Oh, wow. Our typical long night, hypnosis, renewed vigor, sense of emergency. Wow. That's quite a hand. And apparently he was not afraid of discarding those tickets. Either that or he didn't care. Either that or he valued... I suppose it could definitely be that he valued his knife too much to do it, because that was his only weapon card. And if he's going to be clearing trail over here in the east, he does definitely want to have a weapon. What does Mina do? Does she supply? Does she heal? Let me see. Bucharest? What are the 3 things we are missing? Bucharest, possibly then Galatz and Klausenberg, and now here? Because the hide is on the trail already. So, Seward definitely does not... another thing about discarding the knife is that would have meant that Seward would have had no anti-escape as batch weapon. And therefore, Dracula might have been able to get away that way. Okay, so Seward simply takes 4 damage, as well as reveals his hand. I imagine that Dracula will wolf form now. He is aware of that there is a renewed vigor. He is... Yeah, he'll want to make some distance. And put more obscurity as to where he could be. Stake on wolves. Okay, so he found another stake. What? Oh, whoa. Okay, well, Daming is in no shape for a fight. Okay, so in that case, he may not wolf form, because, like, let them come. They're in no shape for a fight. I mean, it's possible that Van Helsing will trade with Seward to fetch the hypnosis, trade with Mina to give her the hypnosis and fetch the heroic leap, so that he can give the heroic leap to Seward, maybe. I don't know. This is... CombatWombat has set things up very nicely here, that the hunters are just too damaged to the point... are damaged to the point where they are just too damaged to safely be able to safely go after him. Nonetheless, I would still wolf form. I would just wolf to Munich. Predictable, yes, but hey. Alternatively, possibly wolf to Sarajevo. They will likely be focusing on your trail. And or healing. Because apparently Goldanga has no weapons. He has a horse, a stake, and 1 other item. What that at last? And a heavenly host, because he cleared the soil that was under the hide. So we know Goldanga's full hand. Now we know that Mina has a knife and 1 other card. A note that, if it was known, I'm not sure if we know it anymore. Possibly a heavenly host. Wait, no, there was 1 discarded, so it can't be a heavenly host. We know what Seward's whole hand is due to him revealing it to the spy. He has stake, knife, heavenly host, horse. Honestly, I don't know. It's possible that Sir would throw away too many weapon cards. Playing the renewed vigor. It's possible that he's going to do this to regroup. Because without a speed telegraph, he can definitely. It is definitely not safe for him to be. Wow, because if this is a bodyguard, so Gul'daming is dead. Bodyguards are wolves. Gul'daming is just dead. This is very bold, sending a 3 health Gul'daming into this. I can't say I like it. Okay. And that reckless scores a point, meaning that even if Van Helsing, meaning if even if the hunters have great strength tucked away somewhere, then yeah, even if the hunter has great strength tucked away somewhere, a clause means that Gul'daming is dead. Oh, he does have the stake though, yeah, so he can guarantee clear this, so long as he didn't die in that fight. Okay. Yeah, so the others can move in with no fear, and that means that Mina can heal up to 6, which is enough. And then I suppose Mina heroic leaps at him, so that they can move on. Okay. Well, he'll discard Doubtless the Long Night. Or actually, no, he traded something off of him, so he didn't need to. Okay. Sense of emergency. Oh boy. Okay. This is very bad for Dracula. Since Mina will, at the very least, be able to get here. Ideally for the hunters, ideally for Dracula, Mina rolls slow horse. Perhaps training an escape route to Gul'daming so he doesn't have to be a part of this. And there's no risk of him dying that way. Okay, yeah, if she had rolled slow horse, she would not have been able to heal and yet still be here. But now she'll also be able to use her second action to heal. Here we go. Okay. Since this is a full-on 4-on-1, this is very likely to be just the end, even with Dracula at full HP. He'll have to survive 2 volleys of damage. He'll almost. I would if I were hunters, I would simply have Gul'daming dodge so that he cannot be targeted with claws directly. Either that, or I would just risk the Heavenly Host. See if you can catch him trying to bite someone else, like Seward. We know that there are only 2 Heavenly Hosts in play. Van Helsing's hand is quite the mystery to us. Let's see what we can rule out. 1, 2. I think if I had to take a guess, given the fact that there is still 2 of each type of gun not in the discard yet, I'm going to make the guess that Gul'daming has double gun plus holy bullets as his arsenal. Alright. Yeah, obviously, Dracula needs to take out Gul'daming. So he's almost certainly gonna play claws. The question is, who will he target? Okay, going with strength into rifle. Oh, he got... Oh, but he does have great strength. However, at the very least, he did palm off the damage completely. And bust the rifle. So he will not have that for next round. Okay. Heavenly Host. Oh, that... Where did that Gul'dan get that rifle? Huh. He should have stake. Oh, yeah. Seward traded with Gul'dan instead of healing. So he gave him that rifle to help shield him. I forgot about that. Now then, what now? Because Aina, you know that Mina does not have you know that there's a knife on Seward and on Mina. I suppose it would not be unreasonable to guess that Van Helsing also has a knife. Okay. I am assuming that he did dodge, right? What? Whoa, another rifle. Okay. So Gul'dan's down. But unfortunately, 4 damage is easy to make. Well, that's... Gio will play both. He gained a bit of influence. However, since Pizzawizard won, that is now 2-0. 2 wins for Pizzawizard, so he is going to be progressing onto the quarterfinals to fight against whoever wins between Mr. Green and, to remind myself, Mr. Green's opponent is Andrazot, yes. Good. Gio played. Quick, small chat. At yeah, apparently CombatWombat had all 4 of those vampires in his starting hand. Greetings, Pizzawizard. Congratulations on making it through.
Yeah, it's very. I'm very excited to go to the semis. Not the semis, the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yep. Obviously, as you know, you'll be up against either Andrazot or Mr. Green next.
Honestly, it would make me so happy if Andrazot beats Mr. Green, because then if Mr. Green gets knocked out, that's my dream right there.
Yeah, that was well done on the Renewal with the sense of emergency. I did not see the sense of emergency coming. Honestly, I should have, but but once again, this is a classic example of Pizzawizard Hunter play, folks. This is like I've got at this event. When the time comes, you just burst out a bomb of one event after another. I
did have some good draws that game. I got a Rubigger early.
Yeah.
It's the Great Strength. Mina actually drew the Great Strength the day she supplied when Seward was fighting Dracula 1-on-1. I was like, if I had Great Strength, I'd move her in. Because I don't want to move her in because she only had like 3 HP. And
yeah.
Great Strength, and I was like, oh, really, deck? I mean, it was still a good draw. Obviously, I was happy to
yeah.
but I was like, man, that's funny.
Yeah, I was expecting, since Gul'dan was obviously in no shape to fight, well, definitely didn't look it, in any shape to fight. I was expecting that it would be, that Seward and Mina, jump on, that you send all 3 to jump on him, have Gul'dan heal and Mina heal, but then have Mina heroic leap. That's what I was expecting, until I saw the sense of emergency. Because then he's trapped, and then also since if Van Helsing had Van Helsing sense of emergency from Marseille, or was it Genoa?
Marseille.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been Genoa, then you could have simply railed closer, and then you are blocking one potential spot to move to. And yeah, again, this is just classic you play. You supply up a lot, you suffer a bit in the mid game, but then you just come crashing down with power. When the moment is ripe.
Yep, good. I wasn't even that deep in the deck. I think I got some fairly good running, some fairly good luck with my draws today. I'm not complaining in the slightest. I do think that maybe there was risk to moving Godalming in the way I did. He had forewarned, so I was hoping that CombatWombat would try to kill him with whatever encounter he had there, like if he had a wolves or something.
Yeah, wolves or bodyguards. I was like, uh-oh. Okay, but
Right,
since he had forewarned, yeah.
Right. And then of course he has vampire number, what was that? Was that vampire number 5?
Yes, he literally had all 5 fire vamps.
Yeah. So I was like, oh no, shit. He could actually like maybe threaten to kill Godalming here, and then if he does that, then I burn the great strength before the combat, and that felt like it would be pretty bad. It didn't
Not especially considering the fact that you could move Mina in it and heal at the same time. And especially with the sense of emergency, then it still would have been 3-on-1, essentially 3-on-1. So if he targets someone else with the claws, and then hits Godalming indirectly, or just strengths the way he did. But
it felt like he had a chance. It didn't feel like it was an opening shot thing until after round 1, when neither Heavenly Host got fanged. That's when it was like the game is essentially over. Because now he's too low, he can't come back from it. But I think if he bangs there on one of the two who play Heavenly Host, it gets more tenuous. He would take 5. Godalming did have holy bullets, so it would have taken 5 from holy bullets, 4 from the other Heavenly Host, and then
actually, in point of fact, I think that the fact that he didn't claw Mina first round, I think his path out was actually to take both Heavenly Hosts, given where they were. That may sound weird, but had he started with claw Mina, well, or not if the great strength had been used up. I am saying under those circumstances. Then it would not have been open and shut if he takes the 2 Heavenly Hosts, because then Godalming dies right away, and then Mina is threatened by claws to die as well, and he knows that you just used up great strength, so if he has it, then he claws Mina, she dies, so therefore you're forced to dodge with her and not deal damage. Yes?
I have the chance to heal if I know the great strength is gone, right? Because she did manage to roll the 2 on the horse, which was not a guarantee. But
yeah.
She did get in with 1 action. She could have healed for 2 before the combat. I don't remember if I ended up doing it or not. I feel like
you did, yes. You did. Yeah, so therefore, the health would have been the same. So that
6.
Yeah.
To, like, claw her and hit her again.
Yeah. If the great strength had been burned and like he had gone the plotting, it had been an ambush with plotting for the kill, or rather for the destroying the great strength, then he had a chance. Once you still had the great strength available, then he was just cooked after you trade in rifles, like that.
Essentially, it's a full swap. I mean, Van Helsing took the horse and the Heavenly Host and gave him the 2 guns and the holy bullets that he had. Because I thought Godalming might die, and I thought there was some chance he could live the combat. And I was like, if he dies, he's not dying with horse. He's not dying with Heavenly Host. He's not dying with either of his double white ones that he was holding on to. I was going to give all of them as well. Like, no. We're going to kind of lower our risk, manage our risk for this fight.
Yeah, I actually, which means that I actually called what Van Helsing was holding. I was expecting Van Helsing to, because he was a complete mystery to me and any other and CombatWombat as to what he was holding. But the discard pile told me enough that since there was suspiciously 1 bullet left, and the fact that there were 4 guns left with that not in the discard, I was expecting that. What I failed to notice was that you traded with Godalming in the first place, so therefore I expected Godalming to just die immediately, like to claws targeted at him. But
that was the other reason I felt good about giving him 2 guns, is it means that if CombatWombat tries to go for that like kill, it's never going to work on him. And then if he tries it, he's wasting his time, and then he probably dies. So that was the other reason. I was like, I want to give him 2 guns to, number 1, because they're less valuable, but number 2, makes it, if CombatWombat tries to like go for that avenue, essentially
Yep.
Which he didn't. He strength instead.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, good on him to do that. Yeah. So well played to him, to be sure. And definitely a good effort throughout the tournament. Got 6 wins total, if I recall correctly. Or was it 7? I think he... I don't remember.
I believe it was 6. I think, let me look. We got the table right here. 8. It's actually 8.
Oh,
Yeah, because-
okay. Wow, okay, my bad. I... Apologies to you, CombatWombat, but...
Or you said 7, I said 6. So really, it's I who should apologize. He did 8. He did very well.
Yeah, as I recall, he got his last 2 wins in the last round. I did seem to recall him winning at least 1, but I did not recall him being 8. But in any event, I suppose I'll do for this one. But I need some news for any who watch this. Tomorrow at 17 UTC, which is noon Eastern time, for anyone who needs that reference, I'll be facing Arternum in a doubleheader. Being the highest seed, I decided to begin with Dracula, and yeah, we'll see if I too advance. I mean, obviously, it may come down to the point that we need to schedule a tiebreaker, but we'll see.
Hey, you guys got plenty of time. You guys know there's like we can change. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We got the time. When it comes to Arternum, I'm not too unduly worried. I'm confident that I will at least be able to win the Hunter game. We'll see. He also had a 50-50 win rate, and for a newcomer, that is very impressive. So, I am definitely do not want to get overconfident about it. But nonetheless, that's what's upcoming. For another, people can see my perspective, or if someone ends up live streaming in the neutral perspective, you can see that instead, if you like. But thank you everyone for
watching on the sidelines. It'll be an exciting game.
thank you everyone for watching YouTube and Twitch alike, and see you all next time. Bye.